Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host here, Chantele and Francis, with my Wednesday early evening co-host, Michelle Nash. How are you doing today, Michelle?
I'm good. You know, I just finished the episode. She's fresh. And I have a lot of feelings. You know, am I happy? Yes. Am I sad? Yes. Am I angry? Yes. Am I shocked? Yes. Am I confused? Yes. Like I'm every emotion after that episode. Yeah.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. I was watching it with Zoe. We did like a live viewing party this afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern. And it was just really fun to watch. A lot of people in the chat, like a lot of people were just like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. A lot of conversations were going on. So I feel like this might be a fun and spicy little recap.
Yes.
Oh! Yes. So it's episode 4. So we're almost at the halfway point of the season, which I'm slightly devastated by because we know that last week we kind of had, I would say, 2 favorites, or 2 of my favorites anyways, or our favorites, taken out of the game, like in a way that we don't prefer. But we still have 6 episodes left. So I'm happy about that. You know?
Me too.
I don't want it to end really, but I have to say, surprisingly, I'm actually looking forward to the Challenge 38. No, sorry, the Challenge CBS or whatever they're calling it, USA.
Oh, the US one. Yeah.
I felt that their trailer was pretty good.
Yeah, it's a great great trailer, and of course I'm excited. Like it's gonna be, and I love that it's TJ. That makes it for me. The fact that it's TJ honestly sold it just that extra bit more for me. Like I'm like, it's gonna feel the same, but just with different people, and I'm excited for like the Survivor people. Obviously, always rooting for Survivor people. But like, yeah, I think there's gonna be a lot of crazy personalities, and I'm not gonna like everyone, but it'll be fun to like bash on people that we hate and stuff. It's just gonna be
absolutely
hilarious.
And I definitely am going to cover it in some capacity, and obviously you're always welcome if you want to join, but I want to do a draft with you and Fanta for this cast, because that will also be really fun and interesting to see how all of us decide to pick our players for our teams, just because we all have different relationships with the different people from Survivor, Big Brother, and The Amazing Race, and Love Island. And so our strategies for choosing people will vary differently, than we know how we're each going to pick for the challenge. So I think that will be also fun, whether we cover it all together or not. So I have to say, I'm shocked that I'm interested in the Challenge USA. And I'm also shocked that I kind of liked where the casting is going for season 38. I think that it could be an interesting season. Obviously, I'm annoyed that the usual suspects are back, but I like the fact that they have like their sibling, somebody else, or their partner or whatever, like just like different people they're bringing into the mix that have a bit of a connection. So I'm a little bit more interested. Oh, you're not interested at all?
No, I am interested, but I feel like there's a lot up in the air yet, right? Like there's still some confirmation. Yes, but I feel like there's still like some like iffy like things. Like we don't know all the potential replacements, or if people could get dropped still, or pairings. So I'm curious to see the full list. And like I knew there was going to be usual suspects, obviously. Like that's kind of how it goes. Like if there's people you don't like, you're going to see them for many seasons in a row. Like,
they're never going
like
anywhere.
Zach just like didn't go away for a while. Tony just didn't go away for a while. Eventually they did, so I'm just going to hope for that point in time. But in the meantime, just root for their demise. So
like, couldn't we have had Josh and Fessy and Kailah and Casey just go on the CBS version, and just like, I just wish that they were on that version instead of like on my challenge,
I'm most excited to hear about Laurel. I still don't want to believe it till I see that it's true, because like I feel like last weekend she was, or like a couple days ago, wasn't she in like that cameo house with Nia and like stuff? So did they leave after that point?
I didn't see it. I don't know what you mean. So
I saw on TikTok there was like a cameo house party thing, and there was an influencer for the challenge that was there, and you saw like Kellyanne was there, and Veronica was there, and like there was a bunch of people there.
Oh,
but she was also, but Laurel was also there, and Jordan was there as well. And
so
they showed
Laurel
up at
and
the same time.
Jordan, or Laura or Jordan and Nia. Like, what's? Whoa, I'm curious. I'm wondering if what happened there. You know.
But they're all there, so yeah, I don't know.
Interesting. So we have friends joining us here in the chat. Hi, Jelly Donut. Jelly Donut says the tea is quite hot this evening. How is everyone doing? Very well. Looking forward to some tea. Of course, love the pick. Hi, Diva. Okay, Jelly Donut says, oh my God, I can't believe that they're airing Amber versus Jonna and MJ hookup. I know, like when I saw... Go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, it's like the last second of the next trailer, and I just was like watching, and then I was like, like my jaw just dropped. I was like, oh my God. This is the thing about Beth, is like, I always want to say, like, Veronica's a hypocrite, this other person's a hypocrite, they bully her, all these things, which may still be true, but like, she is always the first person, it seems, to talk when she knows there's a camera right next to her about someone's personal life shit that they've done. Like when they've hooked up, oh, you had threesomes, oh, this, like, she's always the first person to bring up those real things, which, like, I guess fair game, but like that's clearly means that you don't consider them a friend in any way, because if you did, you wouldn't air things that you don't even know anything about. Like, you don't know their relationship. You don't know what her current status is with her husband or whatever. So for you to comment, like, with the camera, like, it's just, come on, Beth. Like, you know?
I mean, well, we were speculating as to why Jonna unfriended her after their season. It's clear that whether true or not, it is a little bit slanderous to bring that up on TV. And so... yeah, I'd be pissed if I was Jonna. Either way, whether it was going on or not, like, for someone to say that, it's like now you have to prove that it wasn't happening. So
yeah,
but I mean, we got some drama brewing, so at least I'll get some points.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so I have tea on Allstars and season 38. All right, quick tea. Send it. Hi, Sophie. Thanks for being here. Chantele, I need you to get Sarah into the challenge. Oh, Sarah. I'm like, which Sarah? I'm like, Sarah from Brain Candy. So Sarah from Nerdtainment. I don't know if you watch Nerdtainment ever. She doesn't watch the challenge at all. She's planning on watching the challenge CBS, but she never got into the actual challenge. And so she just doesn't understand what the appeal is. And so she's around my age. And so she would have had to have started watching it back in the day. I don't know if she can jump in now to watch it, I don't think. Do you think you would start watching the challenge 38, if like you've never watched the challenge before?
Yeah, but I'm not like a regular person.
That's true.
Like, I will try any reality show if there's a competition involved.
True.
Always.
True.
So.
I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna see if I can get her to we'll do maybe a shared rewatch or something for her patrons, maybe. And so maybe that could be a way to get her into the challenge. I'll suggest something. I'll do my best. So we should be hearing about the Real Big Brother USA soon, along with CBS The Challenge. Yes, so it's going to be happening soon. Obviously, Big Brother US starts probably in July, probably the same day as CBS The Challenge. So I wouldn't be surprised if we start hearing some rumblings about casting. But I think they're still actually casting Big Brother. So I don't think that's done yet. Yeah, I'm liking the concept too. Okay, so what do we think about the Challenge 38 season? Wait, when? I think July, like mid-July. Mm-hmm. Hi, Taboo. So Laurel and Turbo.
Is that the pair?
That's the pairing? Well, Turbo, I thought Turbo was going to be with a girlfriend that wasn't the girl that he went to that sex island with. What's her name? Cara Maria and Polly. I thought it was... anyways, Laurel and Turbo, that is like a very, very strong duo.
But also, they're not ride or dies.
Unless we know.
Are they? Unless they became friends. I mean, who knows? Who am I to say?
My browser like kicked off my mic. So weird.
I can hear you.
I know, but I'm not on my actual mic. I'm on my computer right now. It's so weird. Just does it. Okay, well, I'll deal with that in a second. So hopefully it sounds okay to you guys still. I just don't want Nani banana pair. Well, that's probably going to happen.
But I mean,
I'd rather have Nani and Casey. Like,
yeah, and honestly, if it takes Banana getting an 8th win so that Nani finally becomes a champion, I will be satisfied. But like otherwise, I'm just like, ugh. The other thing is that because Johnny's with her, he's going to end up having to be in that alliance with like Fessy and all them. But the good news is, I don't know. It's going to be, we'll see what happens. I hope he tries to fucking shake things up. I hope he like bananas things and like kind of, you know, like, because please, we need a reset on the regular season.
Do you expect any less from Bananas? No, I do not. I agree, Sophie. I did think Turbo was banned, but maybe it was just like for a couple of years, or because like he didn't actually do anything. He was just kind of saying threatening things, but he didn't. If I'm not mistaken, he wasn't actually physical. So maybe, you know, maybe they reconsidered their ruling. Okay, so probably November, you think, based on past timelines. Oh, wait, were you talking about the challenge? The challenge CBS, I think, is going to start in the summer. I think that Challenge 38 will start in the fall. Laurel is not on Allstars 4. No, but she might be on 38. So Fessy was at one point an alternate. Don't make me like drool
I love
here. Davon and Big D were dropped. I did hear that. Sorry, Davon. I mean, I just watched her on X on the Beach, or I've been watching her, and I'm kind of like, I think I've gotten my fix, to be honest. Sorry, Davon fans. Evie and Emmanuel got kicked out of the airport. We did have a little chuckle about that.
Yeah.
Hi, Eddie. How is everybody doing? We are doing good. So, why am I hearing Steve will feature Allstars? Yes. So apparently Kailah might be on with her new husband, Sam Bird, that was from X on the Beach and other UK reality. So Kailah probably did pretty well this season. And it looks like she has been so far.
She's been doing well. We'll get into that.
We're getting there. Almost got caught up with these questions. So because Wes and Brad were at one point on, I don't remember if Wes and Brad are on still. I don't remember. Jonna did it to herself. Yikes, Eddie. Shots fired. Oh boy. So half of these ride or dies are fake, but if they give us Zaddy, Nom, and Turbo, I'm here for it. Exactly. I am here. How are you feeling about Nom probably being back?
I didn't know that, and that's very exciting. Obviously, I'd stand it. I just want him to have a real chance.
A real season, a full season,
a real season. I'm not saying he has to win, but I just want to see him get the chance to really
and maybe have a real showmans. You know what I mean? Like not with Lola Jones, like with anybody else. That would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Jelly Donut is excited to see them. Absolutely. I am too. The fact that they cast a partner for Nom, I don't know who that is at all.
Yeah.
We already saw Nani and Banana pair for XS2. That's true. But I think they kind of got a little bit robbed there for the fact that, I mean, it was all in the game, but Sarah, I was so shocked that Sarah and Jordan stepped that back. Yeah.
Oh my God. I totally feel the opposite. I was so happy that Sarah and Jordan won.
Well, the reason why I was annoyed by it was just because of how Sarah did it. But go on. Sorry, I cut you off.
Oh, well, no, that's all. But I mean, while sure, it was a shitty thing to do and kind of shocking, it also, nowhere near compares to what he did to retaliate. So, I just, don't see it as, they're not the same. They are not the same. No. Putting someone into an elimination is not making someone do an entire final with you and then taking every cent from you.
No, I mean, I do not think his retaliation was good at all. I definitely was that's disgusting. She shouldn't have done that. But I just remember, because just how Sarah she plays the martyr sometimes. Or what was me.
For sure.
I felt that for someone that's always doing that, it just seemed like she was asking for people to feel sorry for her. I don't know. I just didn't like how she did it. But I get it as a game move. I was happy that they won in the end. That's what they needed to do. But the how of it all just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But I hear your side too. And the fact that Tripple's partner basically cheated on her boyfriend just to get on. Oh my gosh. I did hear that Fessie's partner and Nelson's partner, I believe. Nelson reached out to Nerys from Are You the One, being like, hey, will you be like my boyfriend or girlfriend so you can come and be my partner on the challenge? So he reached out to someone. He did date her, but like they're not together right now. And so apparently Nelson did that. And I think that Fessie also did that with some like fitness model
So
person.
wait, so Fessie's partner isn't Casey?
No, Casey has her brother.
So they just get to pick their best person. They just get to pick whoever they want, who they already. But
they were
people...
asked to bring in some options that casting can take a look at.
Wow, what an eye roll.
A little bit of an eye roll. All right, so enough about 38. Let's talk about this episode of the challenge, Allstars episode 4. We start right off with a barbecue, which I thought was really fun. I really enjoy seeing all the Allstars having a good time, and I think that's something that we've been missing in the hour-and-a-half episodes that we see of the main season. Like, where's the fun times? Fanta used to always say, like, she wants the pool parties and bikinis because that's part of what was enjoyable about the challenge was they still seem to be having fun.
Exactly.
Did you enjoy watching these scenes too?
I always love watching these scenes, yeah. And they're just like so fun. Like they're just so carefree and they're just, they're good. It's good moments.
They were playing, oh my God, what's that game called now? When you have the cups on one side and then you have to try to like throw your cup into the side. You play it
kind of like beer pong.
Beer pong, yes. They're playing beer pong. Have you ever played beer pong?
Yeah,
are you
obviously.
Good? No, there's people that haven't. There are people that haven't.
No, I'm not very good.
Funny story is when I was working at this bar in Montreal, like we used to go to some of like the busboys' house like after, and like he had like a big table, and we would always just go at like 4 a.m. and play beer pong at the busboys' house. So I don't know if I'm good, but I'm competitive, so we always we won often. So Darrell says that he may have been strategic about not winning any of these authorities or dailies. What do you think about Darrell's statement here that he may not be trying as hard as he possibly can?
No, I don't think it's true. I think he always does give it his all, but he's really good when he has that pressure, that adrenaline. Like he's good in finals, and I think that like he didn't feel in danger for a little bit. So I don't think he threw anything by any stretch. I think that's just kind of like interview questions leading. Like I feel like they showed so many Darrell confessionals this episode because obviously why. And I feel like he's just kind of chatting, but I think he still probably tried, but maybe like there's that extra oomph that you can give when you know your ass is on the line and you don't care to screw people over. And it's like further, because he usually plays chill the first half of any challenge game. That's how he makes it to the finals, because he makes no waves, then kills it, gets to the end. This is the first time that he's not going to a final ever.
Not ever. But,
not ever, sorry. But almost.
Double agent, he got close, but he
yes, sorry, yeah.
That's okay. So next up, we start hearing some confessionals from Nia and Jordan about the fact that they have all this sexual tension. We knew that it was coming. We'd seen some pictures that they might have been canoodling or whatever. How are you feeling about these two talking about their sexual tension?
Well, I'm glad they're finally like acknowledging it, because it was so weird when they came in and none of us knew what was going on. Are they together? Are they not? So I'm glad that they're fully acknowledging it. Also, we get 5 points for both of them for the hookup that happens later that we kind of see.
Right. I'm actually like, I went back and watched it. They literally were banging. And I didn't notice it the first time. But
really? How could you tell?
From maybe the motion of the comforter. Maybe I'll try to find it so I can show you.
Yeah. So they're, I mean, Jordan is always like, he's never not fucking someone on the challenge. Always.
That's true, actually.
Like, he had Laurel, he had Sarah, he obviously had Tori. He had, like, you know, he always has somebody.
That's true.
And it's always someone pretty cool, like pretty, you know, pretty good. But yeah, so they get 5 points. But yeah, I mean, it was just like, yeah, obviously, can we just acknowledge this? That brings me to, like, when we get to the end with the whole MJ Jonna, I want to know, is it like a banana situation where the producers are like, don't worry, we're not going to show these things? You know what I mean? Or not?
I don't know what is going to give Beth grounds to say this.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like, because even if they are having like their own situation outside of the house, I would imagine that in the house, while everyone knows they're close, they're probably not like fucking and stuff like that, you know? So it's like, what's giving her this feeling that, like, obviously she's doing this? So we'll see what happens in the episode. Maybe she witnesses something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to it big time. We see Sylvia and Kailah having a conversation, and they clearly do not want Kellyanne in a final. We know that they don't want Kellyanne in a final. Nobody really wants Kellyanne in a final unless it's their male partner. So I'm not surprised that they're kind of targeting her and or maybe Kendall, but I'm just kind of like, I just want Kellyanne to have a good shot at getting to the end. It's just very frustrating that these two young girls come in. They're going to be physically more capable just in general than most people. That we've talked about this a lot before. And they're just taking out our strong woman who's also older, you know?
Yeah, my thoughts on this are that, you know, as they kind of get into it at this point in the episode or later on, is like, yes, they have the power and they're younger and they're winning and this and this and that. But like, there are more of the OGs, but they're not willing to work together in the same way. And if they realize that, because Veronica's not going to go with Kendall and Kellyanne, right? Like, she's just not going to do that because she doesn't want, genuinely probably doesn't want to go against them in the final as well. But also, like, she's going with, you know, but if Veronica had decided to make a different decision and like try to ban, like, get Roni, get like all these people together for real, then maybe they could do something.
Well, I think also, though, the fact of how the rooms were situated, I think that was also helpful for Veronica to not be thinking outside of that room. And then when half of her room consistently is winning, why would you be going against that? You really want to keep yourself in good with the people that are winning stuff. And so I think that if Kendall and Kellyanne were winning all the time and had all the power, and the people from the treehouse never had any power, I think that Veronica and maybe some of the other OGs would have maybe done something differently.
You go where the power is. Like,
Absolutely.
You have to. And you know, we'll get into it, but like, Kellyanne and Kendall are not good social strategists. They are not. They have other abilities. True. They are true challenge OGs who can compete and are there for the competition, but they are not savvy with the social game.
I was pretty impressed, though, when Kellyanne was talking to Kendall.
Yes.
So when she was just kind of explaining to her, like, why it wasn't a really great move to put it on MJ, because Jonna and MJ weren't coming for them, but we know that Sylvia and Kailah are coming from us, so you should maybe have done that. Like, I did, you know, that's pretty basic challenge strategy, but she was able to relay that to Kendall. And it's still shocking to me that she had to relay this information to Kendall because it seemed pretty self-explanatory. Use it on the people that are coming for you.
Kellyanne is a lot smarter when it comes to the strategy in terms of like politically being a little bit more aware of what's going on. Socially, she still can't get herself in there. Like, maybe a bit better than Kendall because Kendall's so awkward. But like, her being associated with Kendall, them both being really good with endurance, having good track records, all of that. I mean, it's so true. Like, Kailah now has free reign to continue to put sabotages and problems on Kendall and throw Kendall in. When Kendall didn't even get her, when she had her chance, she could have at least tried to disadvantage Kailah once. If Kailah's been winning, disadvantage her.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Like, hello. It's logical. She's coming for you anyway. And I think that Kendall realized that going into the elimination tonight. She was like, you know, if I come back, like, I think she kind of was starting to fully understand that, like, I have to just go for it, even though she should have already understood that. But it's too little, too late.
Absolutely. Somebody, when we were watching the episode, mentioned that somebody said in their exit interviews, maybe it was Tina, I'm not sure who, somebody said that Kailah and Sylvia maybe had said something to Kendall about how she should use her, some sort of interference in how she should use the sabotage. So maybe it was like, don't use it on us and we won't use it on you next time, or, some sort of very, very loose agreement that, clearly Kendall should not have taken them up on. And yeah, so apparently that's something else happened to influence her decision from, I believe it was Kendall, or from Kailah and Sylvia.
That makes sense. It
does make sense because she is a little bit gullible in that sense as well. I also heard that maybe Nia and Veronica were like bullying her potentially a little bit as to whether to use it or not use it, or who to use it on. I'm not sure all that. I haven't read the accounts myself, but this is what I'm hearing, like hearsay. Kellyanne does call it the witch house instead of the tree house. I thought that was funny. Just the fact that I do like when Kellyanne just hates people, like I think it's fun when she's like, doesn't care, and she's just like, I can't stand any of you. So it's a fun version of Kellyanne, and we do get at the end of this episode that she's like ready to take off some heads. So I'm hoping that she's going to be able to figure out how to get some power in this game. Hopefully that's by way of turning to Wes. You know what I mean? Like, I know that they've been in a relationship before. Each other to a certain extent. Like, you need to get some protection with Wes and who Wes is working with at this point, because they're the same enemy.
And she needs to, the next daily next week needs to be in her wheelhouse, because she's gonna get sabotaged. We know this. She's the only one left, Kailah, when she's gonna sabotage her. So I just want her to, against all odds, win a freaking daily, be the number one, have that power, have the safety. Even if the votes don't go her way, at least she can sabotage Kailah the next week, or Sylvia, or whatever. Like, that's my hope. It's my hope.
It's a lot of hoping. It
definitely is. But
so Darrell wants to see a hypnotist. So like me, I'll hypnotize you. I'll get you to, free of heights, Darrell. So I thought that was really funny. And I'm like, maybe I'll hit him up. Maybe I'll see if I can help him. Be like, hey, do you want to do an experiment and see if I can help relieve you of your fear of heights? So that's just something I thought was interesting, because I'm like, me, I'll do it. I'll help you. Also, MJ is worried that he is going to be sabotaged. It's kind of like when we talk in Big Brother about block stars. Once you've been put on the block, it's easy for people to keep nominating you over and over and over again. And so MJ is feeling like, because he was been sabotaged, that he's going to be sabotaged again and again and again. Fair assessment, and I'm happy with it. I don't mind him being sabotaged.
I really hope that Brad does it again next week, honestly. I hope so, because it's like, fuck, because as soon as MJ wins, he's obviously going to always throw it on Brad. And I'm not like wanting Brad to like whatever, but like, he's now won dailies twice in a row. Or not, did he win?
Yeah, he's won another one, I think, or at least been in the authority.
Yes. Why do I have Brad and Yes have 5 points, but also Kailah and Nehemiah? Was it Nehemiah who won last week?
Nehemiah didn't. He fought with Yes.
Oh, that's what that side is. That's a fight. Okay, I need to put a little F beside that.
No.
Yeah, Kailah and Brad both won twice in a row. This is their second week in a row, both of them winning. And she's won 3 times.
Yes, she does win 3 times. But before we get to her win here, they get to the daily. We have Wes starting out with his banter with TJ, you sick fuck. And in comes Beth, and we see Veronica's confessional be like, fuck, is it Beth? And we know it's Beth. Beth is coming in. Were you happy about her arrival?
Yeah, I was happy for her arrival. I just thought it was hilarious because both her and Veronica are like trying so hard to be like, yeah, we've moved on. When they clearly have not moved on. to say to someone, you have no reason to feel any type of upsetness at anything I've ever said to you. What?
Like you
don't get to decide how someone else feels about something that you said. And so, like, I was like, what is happening? But then also Beth is like not letting go something that happened 20 years ago or whatever. So like both parties are just still being petty, but it's like, come on, like you can't tell someone that they're not allowed to feel certain way. Like, you shouldn't feel that way. So like you're an idiot for feeling that way because I never did anything wrong. It's like you both said bad shit to each other, you know?
So it happens a little bit later when they have this kind of conversation, but I did love them having the joint confessional where they were kind of like trying to still be really jovial and really like, you know, hey, we're friends now, aren't we? But then literally wanting to kill each other. So
yeah,
we'll touch base a little bit more when that conversation happens. So what they're going to be doing for the daily is called High Stakes. So I found it very confusing how they set up this challenge because they have it in 2 teams in like so many heats, so many teams. I don't know why they had teams. Like it didn't make sense to me. The teams, and you, like Kailah was saying, like, oh, well, you want to be on a team with people that you don't like because so they got to sabotage. Like, I don't know. It was a little bit confusing, but basically what they had to do is go up to a high structure and solve a grade 3 math problem, maybe even grade 2. And like, my question is, when they were calling out, so the winner of whatever heat, the order that they said who was to drop, is that what the determining factor was?
Yeah, so like in your team, only one of you can be in the authority.
Right.
That's the twist. So my thought process was, okay, they think everyone's going to pair with their friends. Oh no, only one person from each heat can be in the authority. But you'll be in the authority no matter what, no matter how fast you do it, the best person in each heat. Then the order of how you let drop, if you're the fastest time, then that equals the first person out would be going. Obviously, none of that mattered because of the 2 disqualifications. So none of it even mattered. But like it would have been Wes going in because Brad did it the fastest.
Wes said first, right.
Yeah, and it would have been Kellyanne going in. So because Kailah won, right? So I'm happy in a way that it
how it panned
out, just because whatever, but anyway.
Agreed. So what do you think about the fact that, you know, Darrell says that he knows he should see a hypnotist because of his fear of heights. It seemingly has increasingly got worse. I'm assuming it's because he's a father now, and as you get older, you realize how precious your life is, and so maybe the fear kind of swells a little bit more. But
and honestly, like this height of all the height challenges, this is one of the worst for me. Like, because you're walking a plank and it's part of a building. So it's kind of different than like when you're, and it's like a thin thing. My legs would shake so much I would just fall. I know, I pictured it. I would just fall before doing anything. I wouldn't even be able to reach. But
you're very tall.
Like when they're, I mean, I probably wouldn't have to reach that hard, but when they're like in the water one and they're above the air and it's still really scary, but they drop into the water, it's like horrifying. I would be more likely to do that than something like this, because even though it could be more painful falling into the water, for some reason, it's less scary to me. The idea that it's just obviously water and like I'm gonna go under and that, you know, as opposed to I'm literally dropping for so long. It looked horrifying. Absolutely
finish
horrifying.
The simple math quickly, and
that would be my thing. I'd be like, fuck it. I would pick. I was thinking about it. I would probably, as soon as I got the plus sign, and then I would do the highest number on one side and just see which one fits.
Yeah, this was
because you know there's one of each that works.
What do you mean? One of each that
right?
works?
Like they had multiple options of what could be the right answer, right?
Yeah.
Like as long as the math worked, it was fine.
Yeah. Well, it seemed like I couldn't see all of it, but it seemed like all of the answers were in the 30s.
Yeah.
And so, and none of the numbers, like maybe one side of the numbers, but not both sides of the numbers were low. Were like one was high and one was low. So it will never be a multiplication unless it was a 1, for the most part, because like one set of numbers were high, and then the second set of numbers, some of them were low. And so I'm just like, how was this so challenging people.
Well, that's the other thing is also like when there's a high number near the beginning, okay, let me do subtraction. Cool. Let me find the other number. Like, but I think that it was interesting to me to watch the different, like, obviously it was kind of like, oh, wow, this is pretty sad. But also, like, it's frustrating to me that Kailah wins with her strategy, which, hey, to be fair, is a strategy. Check, 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 check. But I personally believe
She should have been eliminated immediately.
I think that
bad
you should
checks,
have
done.
I think that, yeah, there should be a limit of 3 checks. You get 3 chances to answer the question. You can't just go through because that's unfair. There were only so many options, right? So you're more likely to get it correct. One of the first ones she chose was like so off, it wasn't even funny.
Oh my God, I wrote it down. I wrote down what she chose. The first one that she gets wrong is 57 minus 3 equals 35.
Yeah. And this is the thing. I feel it felt kind of like an old school bananas thing where he would figure out like a side way to like win a daily that wasn't technically like you're not really cheating, but like you're not really doing it the way you're supposed to do it, and you're kind of making it unfair by just being like, well, I'm just gonna go check, 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 check. Like that's a choice you're making, cool, but it reminded me of that. Like when he would like peek around something and figure something out. It's like it's kind of just, to me, I don't see it as a real win. For me, Kailah's 3 wins, like hats off to her, but I'm not impressed still. Like I'm just not impressed. You haven't shown me anything epic. Like what have you done that's actually so good? You just figured out, you just by process of elimination said check, and we're smart enough in that moment to do that faster than the other women.
And also, though, I do have to say, so Kailah did give the sabotage to Kendall, and Brad gave the sabotage to MJ. So MJ was right there. So Kailah did have Kendall in her heat. And so I don't even think Kendall's 1 minute had finished yet. So they got the sabotage was a 1 minute that they had to wait while people had to solve this equation. I'm like, how are people taking longer than a minute to solve this equation? Like the equation was very,
yeah, like when Jordan lost that, I was like, come on, you had a whole minute. Like, really? You could have just he could have easily just been in the authority right there. Like,
so Mark gets it. His question was 8 plus 23 equals 31. Like that's the extent of the math problem. There's not even
I would have loved that one. I would have been like, yes, I know it.
It's so easy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm also not a person that's afraid of numbers. I do like math, and so I don't get immediately intimidated or scared when I see some numbers. But like these were very, very easy. It's not even like in the finale of Double Agents when they had to do all those like big numbers in the finale when with Amber and CT. Like that was a little bit more challenging where they're doing like 4-digit numbers that they're having to memorize. That would be more difficult. Still addition, but more difficult. This is like literally for a like 7-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old.
Yeah.
So Sylvia freaks out. I had to give a big eye roll to Sylvia for this freak out. How'd you feel about it?
So sorry. I felt, I mean, she's dramatic like that. I laughed at Kellyanne's like, honestly, it's hilarious and annoying. Like she's just so dry. It really makes me laugh. But I will say, yeah, it was annoying, but like she did it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there's merit in that. While it was annoying, she conquered the fear. As someone who's like gone to ziplining for the first time, crying and shaking, and then I still did it.
Yay.
Like I was annoying as fuck, but I did it. And then I was very relieved that I actually participated, right?
Oh,
but normally I would just never do anything like that. But everyone was doing it, and I was just like, I was next in line. I'm like freaking out, and I just closed my eyes and just went. And I was very happy that I still did it. Like at least, you know, you fucking did it. Like
that reminds me of when I was in Mexico, like the December before lockdown, so December 2019 with my friend Brittany from the airline, and we get to do all the excursions that if we want to for free. So we did this like mega day of like adventure day where we started on like a speedboat and we took like a mule ride and then a big Jeep ride. And we're both really hungover because we went to like a pirate show the night before with an open bar. So we were kind of hungover, but she's terrified of heights. And this was just like a day going from like treetop to treetop, doing upside down zip line on a surfboard. And then it ends it with like a steep dropping water slide. And she's like, I've done this whole day. I can't do the water slide. I'm walking down. And so she'd like literally walk down for like an hour while we just like all just zip down. And so
see, I'm not okay, but was it an open water slide or a tube?
Tube.
I will do a tube. I used to be terrified as a kid. I would never do it. But then I did it once and I felt safe enough just because you're in a tube. So even though it's like, you can just scream, but you're in something. I don't like the big drops where it's open because I just picture myself flying off.
You do actually fly off a little bit, and it's a little bit scary. I did it in Canada's Wonderland before, and you'd like literally come off the back of it. But this one was in a tube, but it was a very, very, very steep drop.
Oh, you know what? Maybe I wouldn't have. I might not have. If I can look and see how I would probably probably chicken out.
When you saw, like, I was even kind of like, this is a little scary here, and like you're on like a magic carpet type thing, like yeah.
Oh, you're on a thing. Oh no.
No, it's like a yoga mat type thing. Like it wasn't.
That's not safe. No. What if you go upside down? Like.
No, I mean I didn't, but like you're definitely like.
Okay, let's move on. I'm getting the heebie-jeebies.
It was a lot of fun though in the end, and I was happy that I did it. I'll show you the pictures of some of what we did. It was pretty terrifying, but fun. So MJ does, as you mentioned, get it done before Jordan, and I was a little bit unimpressed by Jordan not being able to finish this simple math equation.
Like I was like, and it was paired to the clip of him being like, "I am so strong. I work so harder than anyone ever has. Since I've been a kid, I've always been so professional." Like
with flashbacks and everything, and he can't
only to him not being able to do a math equation. Like MJ is not like a genius, but like at least, hats off to him.
Exactly. So Diva says, I did it too. Like if she knew how she looked, she would have stopped. Wait, oh, sorry, what am I thinking? I thought it was about something else. Hold on, let's see. Sylvia with the chin strap. It definitely, I did notice that. I was like, it didn't look cute. I definitely noticed the chin strap on poor Sylvia crying. So I was annoyed that I had to be giving props to MJ. I was like, Argh! Like
I know, but it makes it more interesting. And I still feel like, even though Jonna and MJ are obviously against Kendall, right? With Kendall gone, moving forward,
they're next.
And I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Like if Jonna decides, okay, let me go with the majority, like the other girls, and like try to go against Kellyanne, then she's fucking next because she was a champion. And I know that everyone seems to be forgetting that right now and focusing on the other girls who haven't won. But I think that, like, if she recognizes that, which she's pretty smart, I hope that she's able to kind of move things around. And she has power and connections. So I'm hoping that what I like most about Jonna's game is always her social strategy part of her game. So I'm going to hold out hope that she's going to do something that I like. Hopefully.
We'll see. I'm not sure if she's going to, I feel as though the tables are going to turn against Jonna. And I think that the leader of this revolution is going to be Beth. I think that she's going to lose a little bit of her positioning. She's not in the treehouse. I know she sometimes seems to have power because she's the same age as them, many of them, and been in the authority with them. So it seems like she's good with them. But I think as soon as she's not in the authority, I think that people will immediately want to at least put her down. And we saw in the pre-trailer that she does go into elimination. So we don't know if she comes out or not, but she is going to be going down there.
But then why didn't they go for her this week? Just because Kendall was still there, and I think it's like easier to go for Kendall first.
Probably.
MJ was in the authority, so that obviously.
Yeah, so that wasn't going to happen. I think that
both of them need to be out of the authority.
Exactly. So, which is a very big possibility.
Oh,
and
it
seems like from those clips from the next episode that Jonna is strategizing. I was going to say scrambling, but going around maybe talking to people that are in the authority or whatever. Like, it seems like she's doing some politicking to a certain extent.
Yeah.
So that could be because she's not in any power, and neither is MJ. So we'll see if we're right about that. Roni is nervous about everything, but we don't really get that much from Roni yet. So I hope that she kind of steps up and kind of shows us a little bit more about her personality, what she's been going through. Like, I want to see her in some power. I hope it's not just like she gets voted in and goes home.
Well, the interesting thing is that she is in the treehouse.
Yes, but she's the bottom.
Yeah, and she's bottom of the treehouse. So if the treehouse continues to succeed and chop people up, she'll succeed up to that point. She'll probably get eliminated right before the final or something like that. Unless she can pull out a win and do something else. But I think if she pulls out a win at this point, she will save the treehouse because that's who she's been with and they've been saving her. So I think she needs to kind of coast for a bit and then kick it into high gear, win some things, and by then have there be no other option and she's forced to put in one of the treehouse or something like that. That could be great for her. So we'll see. I mean, again, we haven't seen a lot of her, so hopefully more is to come, but it made me hopeful. I was like, well, she's not going home this week because they're not showing her. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, I was worried just because we haven't seen that much of her that like maybe it's just because she's just going to go out really quickly and she's not going to have a major part in the season, but she's still here. So hopefully she can make it a little bit more of an impact on the season. I know we talked a little bit about Beth quitting already, but we have like everybody that's watching, like chanting Beth, 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 Beth. And TJ's just like, you've been here for like 20 minutes. And Jonna is like, shading her in her confessionals. I was like, seriously, Beth, you know what show you're on. You're really going to not make an attempt. You just got here. You're going to go directly into the arena.
I mean, it's so stupid. I don't know why she goes on these shows because she has 0% chance of winning always. And not even just because of her poor social game. And not even just because of her poor physical compared to the other women. It's literally because she doesn't have that passion to win, but she just has passion to like kind of just be part of it. And I think that's fine.
I think we do need some people like her.
Yeah, especially like we've lost Tina at this point. So it's like, I'm into it, but I want to see you giving your best effort and then I'll feel more for you. And then when you do get eliminated, I'll be like, oh, damn. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Instead of like, okay, who cares? Beth's gone,
Yes. So Jonna is just going to be going up against Roni, and Jonna gets it. So Roni drops. Jonna is going to be in the authority. Brad gets it quickly.
Oh, they were both in the authority. I'm so stupid.
Oh, Jonna
and what I was saying, why would they go against Jonna already? But I'm like, she was in the authority with him, obviously. I forgot she was in it.
All good. So Brad gets it pretty quickly, and he makes a little bit of an error by saying Wes's name first. So he says Wes and Nehemiah. We get a little bit of backstory with Wes having a really close relationship with Nehemiah and Brad, which I've always loved to see because I love the history of the challenge and these relationships. Yes. So it was nice to see that both of them, he has like close relationships to both of them. And I don't think that he was actually mad at Brad for making that mistake. So
no, because it didn't matter because at that point Darrell was already going in. So at that point, like I really, it doesn't matter.
So Veronica is going to be going up against Kendall and Nia. And Nia's terrified of heights, even though she is a corporate or a private flight attendant, which I've actually always wanted to be, a private flight attendant. But then I've also heard stories that like the job entails a little bit more than the job description, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so yeah, but I've always been like, ooh, but it would just be so fun to like travel with like, you know, high profile clients. But I heard that there's a lot of additional favors that might be requested of you. So I don't know if I want to be in that position by myself, but I think that it's a really cool job to have, but she is still terrified of heights, even though she likes being in the air. I was surprised by this. It could be because she's tall. And like many tall people don't have the great balance. So maybe that's why she has a fear of heights. But I was kind of thinking that all air signs don't mind heights. Because, you know, air heights, you know, want to have like a bird's eye view. I don't love water. And I just was always just thinking that there was a correlation. And so even Darrell was saying like, oh, I don't mind water, but like put me down under the water. And I'm like, you put me down in the water. I hate that. I'd rather go high than go down the water. So
see, I would pick the water, but honestly, I pick neither. I don't want either.
Yeah,
but I don't want to fight. Well, I want to be in a fire. No, I don't want to be in a fire. But I guess I would pick like doing something, carrying something for a long time, and it's really hot, but you got to like figure out all these things. That would suck, but I'll do that 20 times over. Like doing the other things, I guess. I don't know.
Interesting. I got to find what Earth, though. I don't know. Correlation between, well, I mean, drive stuff is fire, so maybe it could be. I'm gonna figure out what would be the correlation for Earth and fire, because I really do feel like at least air and water tend to have that kind of pattern.
I mean, my older sister's an air sign, and she's gone skydiving. She's gone bungee jumping, I think. Like, she's not afraid of heights at all. Oh, at all.
So it's interesting. Just noticing patterns. So I would want to look at Nia's chart to see if maybe she has other influences as to why she's not being not afraid of heights, because she's an air sign.
But she still did it. You know,
that's true.
Like there's a difference in that fear. Like my fear in that specific situation with the plank, I know that I wouldn't be able to. Even if I tried, my legs would just tumble over and I'd just fall. Like, I don't know. So she still did it. She tried.
But Veronica, who's tiny, she believes that she's about 11 inches shorter than Nia.
Wow. On her tippy
maybe
toes.
Not that much, but she definitely had a hard time doing this math equation because of her height. She does manage to win. So she does beat Nia and Kendall. So she's going to be part of the authorities. So the authority is going to be made up of Brad, who is going to have a sabotage to use next round, MJ and Mark. And out of the women, Kailah has a sabotage, and Veronica and Jonna make up the rest of the authority. We mentioned already, but this is the third authority for Kailah in a row. So whoop-de-doo.
I know. I'm just like, ew, now everyone has to call her like a beast. And I'm like, ugh, no.
Hat trick. Whatever.
I need her, like, she needs to do something epic. Like, I'm not saying I couldn't get behind Kailah. Well, probably not, but I could. I try really hard to be like open to things, you know?
Yes.
So if she like has to go down into elimination and like bosses it out, I will be like, okay, like let's go. I won't hate you in the final. But if she does this and just wins these stupid little ones and then like has friends and gets by and never has to do anything, and then, you know, I'm going to be mad.
Yeah, I would be mad too. So MJ is going to go against whatever Brad says inside of the authority. Just like a little bit of an eye roll, but whatever.
Yeah.
Beth and Darrell are going to be going directly into the arena. So Beth still loves her tenderoni. She's going around picking rooms. Obviously, there's 2 free spots in the treehouse, but the treehouse does not want Beth to show up there. So Beth ends up rooming with Darrell and Kendall. We obviously get a dig from Kailah, who's just the only ageist on that they're showing clips from this season, where she's like, "Oh, like Beth and like her season of the real world was in the early '90s, and like I was born in the '90s, so like I was probably just like a baby then." And I'm just like, Every episode, Kailah, you definitely remind us that you are younger than everybody on the show. We know you're 29, 28, whatever.
But being that age makes her one of the older ones on the regular season. Do you know what I mean? But or at least the media, and in a couple years, and they're bringing in people who are 22 and she's in her early 30s. You know what I mean? Then it's she's going to be in that same position. So It's annoying.
Like people born in 2000.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
It's just it's so tiresome just to hear someone just smirking about I'm younger. It's do you know what? I was the youngest person for a long time until I became the oldest person. It happens. You end up getting older and you're not the young person. Anyways, she'll have her comeuppance in 10 years when she realizes that she's the oldest person and all these younger people are physically more capable than she is.
Yes.
So, hopefully she's not still on my screen though when that happens.
No.
Hope so. So we have a little bit of a dance party. We see Beth talking to Kendall. Kendall frustrated obviously by the treehouse and how they're playing the game. I don't think that they're playing the game that badly though. They are having power and they're taking out people that are strong and that they can see beating them in the final. So as much as I don't enjoy them that much, they're not really doing anything out of the scope of the game.
No. There's nothing.
Do something, win something. It's
true.
Yeah,
there's nothing shady going on. Yeah, it's just they're actually playing social strategy and politicking and you're not. That's literally what's happening. You're not putting yourself even in the game, in the chance. Even when Wes is on the outs with everyone, he's still going to people being let's do something. He's trying, right? You're not even putting yourself in there, so you don't get points for me, social. You don't get points. Absolutely. I'm not surprised that you're in an elimination. And if you're going to be that person, fine. Jordan's been that person many times, but that means you're going into elimination. And either
if you don't want to play by the rules,
that's what you have to do.
Jelly Jonna is going to enjoy bragging about being young while it lasts. Aren't you still a teenager, Jelly Donut?
But respects Tina, so that's all that matters.
That's good. You have good taste. You got good taste. So anything else happen at that dance party? Oh, Nia does want to gather all the outliers, which I think is why haven't you done this already? Why are you allowing your numbers to dwindle? But I think it's because none of the outliers are really winning power. And the time when Kendall or Kellyanne were in there, they didn't do what was best for the outsiders game. They did what was best for the treehouse. So I don't think that, I think it's what she needs to do, but I think it might be too late to get any traction.
I agree.
Personally. So Darrell wants Jordan and to hopefully send him home because he doesn't think he can beat Jordan in a final. So I was like, oh my God.
That moment was so awesome because I just felt so much respect for Darrell, which obviously we already do. He's one of the greatest of all time, as Jordan rightly says. And I love that he's I'm not scared because I've been to the last 2 finals in a row and I still can't fucking win. And I know that Jordan is the endurance king and all these things. And if I don't get him out, I won't win. And I don't want to do another painful final for 2.5 days or whatever and kill myself to not win again. So let me just get him out. And if I lose, then I go home to my family.
Exactly.
So I did really like that.
Well, it's badass. And I mean, I think with the men this season, wasn't really any layups, we'll say. I mean, maybe Tyler could be considered a layup, but there would be some eliminations that Tyler could beat a lot of people at. So
absolutely, yeah.
I feel that everybody's pretty strong. And so, I mean, I think that Darrell would never have gone against Yes, but it might have been better for him to go against Wes when we find out what the actual elimination is, just for weight purposes. So we'll see. So next part was when we see Beth and Veronica having their conversations, and then we see their confessionals together. And I love the flashback of them calling each other out, and Beth telling Veronica, you think I want camera time? You are having threesomes on camera. And they show Veronica in the bubble bath, where they feel there's a couple other women. I'm not sure who was actually in there. I just wish that they could just get on the same page and just like each other. You know what I mean? Like, I would like to see them be friends, but if they can't be friends, them being enemies is pretty fun as well. So
yeah, they're both petty
yeah,
and can't get over it.
Veronica's the Sag and Beth is Aquarius. They could get along.
They could, but no.
They could. And so their feud has basically been going on since 2005. So probably longer than Jelly Donut has been alive that Beth and Veronica have had a feud, which is hilarious. So yeah, Veronica and them were talking back and forth about like liking the camera time, which I thought was really funny, is that they both are calling each other out on what the same thing that they both do. And I wonder if they'll recognize it now, you know?
Hopefully, but probably not.
Probably not. Then we get the scene with Nia and Jordan being like, will you be my sugar daddy? And where I presume that they have sex. I was kind of like, I don't want to see this. Like, I don't know. I
don't need the sounds. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need it. I understand what's happening. Great. I'll write down the points. And I'm ready to move forward, you know? Like, that's not, but like, fine, whatever.
It just kind of grossed me out a little bit, you know. So we get to the authority deciding who's going down. Mark says it should be Jordan. Veronica doesn't necessarily care between Wes or Jordan. She doesn't want either of them to win. Veronica also thinks that Kellyanne could be a good option just because she'd be really strong in a final. Let's get her out now. So in the end, though, Jonna tells Kendall that she is going into the elimination, and we didn't see anybody tell Jordan, I don't think, but we do see Nia is worried about Jordan leaving the show, and we hear all this sad music. So I actually thought that, you know, Darrell versus Jordan, I'm like, is Jordan going to be taken out by Darrell? Like, why are they playing this sad music and show like a little bit of their relationship? You know what I mean?
Yeah, at
like,
this point, I was unsure. I thought it seems like it's a pretty even match because even though they're not the same body type at all, some has strengths in different areas. And I just thought, you know what? I need to see what the elimination is. But the thing is that Jordan is known for winning eliminations that he is at the largest disadvantage. So if there's a weight issue, if it's a grabbing with your hands because he's got one hand issue, those are the ones that he more so wins. Weirdly. Yes. Like not every time. We've seen him lose, obviously we've seen him lose, but like
he finds a way to win many challenges where you think you'd be disadvantaged. Yes.
So I kind of was like on the edge, but I always kind of was like, Jordan's going to make it through. He always figures it out. Like, and it just seems like, I don't know. So I was unsure, but I was kind of hoping for Darrell to win just because it would be crazy and awesome. And
I was torn. So I wanted Darrell to win because I didn't want him to go out early. Mm-hmm. But then I was like, but I have Jordan on our draft together. And so I was like, I didn't want that to happen. But then on my other draft with Chris and Drew, it was Chris's first guy pick. He had like, he could pick anybody, and he got like, I don't know if he could pick anybody, but he got to draft Jordan and he was going strong with it, you know? So I was like, oh, let's get him out of there. His first pick is out. It's gone. Yeah. It would have been funny. So I was definitely torn, but I was feeling just because they were painting this like love story, I thought it was going to be like unrequited love. You know, they ripped apart so soon. I thought that's the direction that the editors.
Me too. So I was stressed.
Definitely stressful, and with the sad music. So we have the elimination, and we were talking about it on the Twitch stream, and it was a bit of a flop, I think, in my opinion. So they're kind of in these barrels. It's called steamroller, where you kind of have to, you're both in the same kind of barrel tube, but going in the opposite directions, trying to get the whole tube over to the one side or the other.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit challenging because like you got to use your body weight and then use the momentum to keep it going. But if you kind of get into like a gridlock, like a standstill, like it's hard to get any sort of momentum. So we see Beth and Kendall going up first, and Kendall is teeny tiny. And so I pretty much knew that if Beth wasn't going to quit, she was going to win this one. So what did you think about it not being balanced weight-wise? And Beth wins this one and takes out Kendall, mostly because of her height weight advantage. What do you think about them it not being fair in that regard?
It was upsetting, but like it happens all the time, you know, things that are like at such a huge disadvantage. I did kind of have hope for Kendall for part of it. Even though it seemed like against her, I was like, maybe if she kind of just like keeps a twist, like while Beth's ruling, she'd kind of like, you know, or like do something. But then it just, as it went on, it was very clear, like, okay, this is what's happening. I don't know. I'm upset because I want her to have a longer shot at it. But better her than Kellyanne, in my opinion. Even though I now lost Kendall on my draft, I root for Kellyanne a little bit more. So,
I unfortunately feel as though I was happy that Kendall was gone because of the fact that she made that terrible decision last week, and it doesn't seem like she's willing to play the game in a way that is going to put her in a better position. It doesn't feel good to see her upset about people targeting her when she's just not doing anything to change her position. We do see her talking a little bit to MJ and Jonna about wanting to maybe stay in the game and like, please don't vote for me in the authority. Okay, fine. She's putting in a little bit work, but it's too little too late. When you had power, you didn't use the power in a way that was beneficial to you, and you've been taken out of the game. You know, Allstars 1 legitimately, Allstars 2 too soon probably, but I just don't know if I care for the Kendall storyline anymore. Oh,
same.
I'm sorry. So I was happy that Beth was staying regardless of it being unbalanced weight-wise, we'll say. Yeah. So we see then Jordan versus Darrell, and they do this for about an hour, I believe. I think it was 53 minutes when Darrell ends up getting a leg cramp, a quad cramp, and he actually has to get himself out of the barrel. And so Jordan's able to kind of roll it over to the finish line or whatever, the marker. And he really felt that he couldn't even celebrate, because I love that he was like, still respects Darrell. He still likes Darrell as a competitor and a player and as a friend or whatnot. And I was happy that there wasn't kind of gloating still when Darrell was seriously hurt. I thought it was hilarious when Jordan was kind of, you know, just going to wear Darrell down with his smack talk in those cages. What do you think about this matchup? And what do you think about how Darrell had to disqualify himself?
It was upsetting, but also I love seeing an upset like that. Like, once again,
figure out a way.
Like with Zach and the hammer, like with Josh and the rope, the odds are against him. He never gives up. He finds a way. While I think Darrell was aware of what Jordan was trying to do, distract him, it did distract him in that he was like, I'm just going to stay strong here. And he didn't think of other strategies. And he didn't think about how much time was passing and how everyone was noticing. You're going to get fucking wiped out. He probably was trying to prevent him distraction and then kind of having a sway, and then Jordan could take it. But it's like, no, you need to sway to push yourself through. Get another sway. You are heavier than him. Sway back once. You're already so close to the start and to finishing. Go back and do it, you know? Like, wait for a moment and do it as Jordan's talking or something. There's so many things he could have done, but...
Danielle, I agree. I think she's sweet. I'm sure she's a lovely person in real life. but I do agree. She's been annoying me this season for sure. And even like her other seasons, I let it happen just because she was new. Like I haven't seen her in a while, but I'm done with the Kendall storyline. Yeah, I 100% agree with you and Darrell. I just wish instead of him just holding that position, trying to tire Jordan out, who's not going to tire before you, Darrell. It's just not going to happen. Why weren't you deciding to like, that's it. I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to throw my body weight onto the other side, see if he could rattle him so he's off balance, and then pick up speed and move it over to the finish line. So exactly. I agree that he did not make the best strategic choice there. And I'm wondering, like, we don't really know Darrell's smarts because he doesn't strategize. He doesn't do all that kind of brain power thinking stuff. Maybe he's just not that smart.
But what he's good at is trying to figure out how to use the least amount of energy for the most amount of effect. So this is why this was so surprising to me. You know how he'll be like, okay, I'm going to save my energy for this because right. Like he's pretty smart at like figuring out where he needs to use his energy. So the fact that he didn't realize he was wearing himself out was very confusing.
Jelly Donut shots fired says sucks saying Darrell gone too soon, but he was boring, and I feel like Jordan would actually do something.
Darrell is not a boring person, but strategy-wise, yes, his first half is always boring strategy-wise, but his personality makes up for it.
Do you agree or disagree, Michelle? Jordan minus the mullet and facial hair is fine.
These days, he's looking a little unhinged for me.
It's not my vibe at all.
No.
Not at all. Whoops. And so it's better that Jordan won because the men now have someone to go after and plot against Darrell. Plot against Darrell would fade into the back with his friends. True. Kendall, no, thumbs down. I agree. Thumbs down for Kendall for Allstars tour. Sorry, Allstars tour. No, down vote. So yes, Darrell has a cramp. He throws himself out of the barrel. He gets taken away on a stretcher. Is that the stretcher pick that we've seen in the full season trailer? It is? Okay, so it was him. We thought it was a woman, but it was Darrell. Sorry, Darrell.
It didn't really show enough for us to know.
So then Kendall leaves by herself. And funny enough, Beth is now going to be all by herself in that bedroom because she decided to room with Kendall and Darrell. So she's going to be by herself in that room.
She's going to go in every week until she goes home, which is probably going to be next week. Let's be real here.
Well, maybe not, though. Right? Because if like something's going on with the Jonna of it all, and it does seem like whatever she's saying is getting some traction. So maybe she's able to get Jonna against somebody else. Like you want to keep Beth in to go against her, either if you have to go down into an elimination or in the final. I mean, you of course want Beth in the final. So she might be able to.
That's true. You want Beth in the final. That's for certain. That's an automatic person you will beat. 100%.
100%. We're almost getting to the point where that is the way that you're gonna have to start thinking, right? You want to take out the threats to win and keep the people that you can beat. So she might be able to get past a couple of weeks. We did put the over and under at 2 episodes. So she's made it through 1 episode. We'll see if she makes it through episode 5. Did you say that were you the over or the under?
I said 2 episodes. I think no more than 2.
So, okay. So you'll think that she is done next episode. I think over 2 is for Beth. And that's pretty much it for the episode. So anything else that we didn't talk about that you wanted to mention about this one, episode 4?
No, I'm good. We've talked it through and I feel fulfilled.
Jelly Donut says, did you hear Kailah is pregnant and that Corey Lay is trash? I did not hear. Wait, Kaylee. Maybe I did hear that. Corey Lay, though. Oh, Bailey is pregnant. I do know that Bailey is pregnant.
That's who they meant. They said Bailey.
Oh, I see underneath. Yes, I saw that Bailey's pregnant. I did send that already. She did some really nice pregnancy photos. She looks gorgeous. So I sent it to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, you posted it.
I thought I also sent it to you, but I think I thought to do it, but then I just posted it. Corey Layla, what happened with him? So he was with Michaela. He was supposed to be on Allstars 38, partnered with Michaela, and I forget what happened, but maybe she backed out or is not doing it. And so once that happens, he was no longer going to be on 38. So he I unfollowed her. He might have even blocked her. So I was like,
interesting.
So that's why Corey Lay is trash, I believe, unless there's something else that I don't know, Jelly Donut. Well, anyways, it's been really great catching up, even at this new time. I kind of like this fix. It's like, before dinner time, chat about the challenge. It's pretty good. So thank you, everybody, for joining us here in the chat. We obviously love talking the challenge and love talking the challenge with you guys. Please subscribe to the channel, like this video if you're seeing it after this live, and comment on. I want to know the over-under. Do you think that Beth will be gone next episode, or do you think that she has some staying power now that we're getting almost to the halfway point of the season, where it's a benefit for Beth to be in the game for people that are playing? You don't want to have all these strong people anymore. You kind of want to have people you can beat. So let us know your thoughts on Beth's survival rate for the rest of the season. Yes. And I agree, Natalie. Marianne for the win. We're going to go and watch Survivor in less than an hour. So we'll be doing a recap tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, and we'll see what happens.
Can't wait. Don't spoil for me, because I can't watch until later.
Oh, okay. I want to be at a bar. So
okay, perfect.
Bye.
Bye.